Hello and welcome back to the channel. As you can see, we have a Mustang out here. It's not the 66 or the 67. They're still in the garage up there. We actually just bought this yesterday. This is a 64 and a half. This is got the 260 in it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and walk you around the car, show you the car, and talk a little about why we bought this car. So as you can see, this has got the 260 V8 in it. So that was a predecessor before the 289. So in early 64 and a half Mustangs, the standard base V8 was a 260, and then you could get the D code 289 with the 4-barrel on it. There was no option for a 289 with a 2-barrel. So this has a 2-barrel on it. Manual steering, manual brakes, drum brakes. This does have an alternator on it right now. It's supposed to have a generator, so at one point it was switched to an alternator. The car does run, unlike the 66. This one does run. It runs rough. There was a bad ticking noise, which I'll throw that video in right here. We think we figured that out. We think it's the inspection plate on the transmission. It was shoved back up in the transmission, so I think it was hitting the flywheel. So I already took that off, and the battery's charging, so hopefully once it's charged we'll start it and hopefully the ticking noise will be gone. But as you can see, it's maroon or meringue, some weird red color. It's not candy apple like the 66 is. But the body, there is some bubbling where there's rust, but otherwise the paint is in really good condition compared to the 66. Doors line up pretty good. Here's the interior. It's red with a black dash and a white top. Back seats, really good condition. Carpet's not too bad. Front seats honestly aren't in that bad condition, besides right there, which is fine. Automatic, C4, still has the original radio in it, original steering wheel. They put a aftermarket radio in, and then they wired around the horns right there, so that'll have to be taken off, and horns will have to go back to the middle there. So there's the interior, basic standard interior. Seat belts. I originally thought that seat belts were an option in 64. Hold on, there we go. I thought seat belts were an option in 64, but they were standard in the front, and then an option was for the back seat, and these do not have a seat belt in the back, so it did not have that option. There is some rust on the car. It's not as rust free as the 66 that we got from California was, which didn't expect this. The previous owner said that the car had been restored in the 80s or 90s, so all the frame rails have been replaced, the floor pans have been replaced, so there's no real rust on those. There are some rust spots on the frame rail, but it's not all the way through, so that's not a problem. So as I said, the engine runs. It doesn't run great, so right now we're going to go ahead and throw the battery back in it and see if we can't get this car running a little better. And then once it runs better, this car is going to disappear. You will not see any more of this car. Maybe a few driving videos, probably not though. We bought this car because we have a 67, as you know, and a 66, and we thought it'd be cool to have a 64 and a half and a 65, and this one came up at a decent price, so we went, looked at it, and thought, let's just go ahead and get it. So we got this, and it's gonna go in storage though, because it's gonna need a whole engine rebuild and everything to make it look pretty. So let's go ahead and get this engine in. You ready to go for a ride, Russell? Huh? You like it? Does it meet the Rusty? It's not like the convertible, is it? Obviously it meets Rusty's approval. I'll get a video of him actually in the convertible. He loves it a lot better, but I think he enjoys it. Battery's back in. We're gonna try to start this thing. Let's see if it runs. It did run. It's gonna be whether the battery's charged enough now. Fired up just like that. No ticking noise. Wind. Look at that easy wind right there. There's that 260 right there. That's what we gotta fix. Those old American ponies running free. It starts and it runs. So we're gonna take it around the block, I think. Manual steering, so it's a little rough to steer. Really no brakes. Love this dash, just love it. You guys can't see it, but I love it. The brakes were sketchy, so that's why we didn't take it very far, so we put more brake fluid in there. It just shifted. Wow. See, that's what I love about this car, is that dash right there. I love the horizontal dash. So we put brake fluid in, and the brakes are a little better now, so taking it to the end of the street. This is my first time in a coupe, riding in one, since mine has never seen the road yet, since I've owned it. And we just found all this in the glove compartment. Got the owner's manual, which is nice, and a bunch of other stuff that we'll go through and see. Oh wow, we're going around the block. Wow, this is big, folks. I'm thoroughly happy right now. That radio actually works. This radio works as well, the original. The hood's not shut. The original works, it's just not hooked up to the antenna. So, but yeah, the hazards work, everything works. This is, we're happy, because when we bought mine, not a lot of stuff worked. And this one, a lot of stuff is working, which is good. So, we're happy. Well, that concludes the video on the 64.5. Don't know if another video will be made soon on it, but we're pretty happy with it. The next video you'll see will either be the 67 video, walking around it, explaining it, or another 66 video, tearing the engine down. Yes, Rusty, we hear you. Yes. Are you happy now? So, but it's getting harder to keep straight what car I'm talking about, which year Mustang I'm talking about. So, hope to see you guys next time. And we're going to say bye here at the ranch. Isn't that right, Rusty? Rusty, we saying bye? Can you say bye? Oh, now you're camera shy? All right, I see how it is.